If you guys want to get into real estate investing, one of the best exit strategies that you will do, don't get me wrong, I know it looks fancy to flip property and, have it all HGTV ready. I know you want to get that passive income from your rental properties, or you just want to be able to house yourself and your family in your nice, pretty Airbnb. Those are great and those make money too, but wholesaling property is simply the art of buying property as is and selling it as is before you even own it. And it's one of the best real estate strategies that you will have in your business that you'll absolutely need that can make you $15,000. In this video, I'm actually going to break down a wholesale deal that I just did last week that I made $15,000 on, didn't bring any of my own money, and I took home a $15,000 bag while I was in Houston, Texas, away from the office. Let's talk about it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Sawan Belcher. This is me taking action. If it's your first time here, go and join the family. Go and like and subscribe. Here we actually talk about real estate investing. Okay, not that fake stuff. We talking real estate investing. Rental properties, fix and flip properties, wholesaling property, Airbnb, and group homes. In this particular circle, we believe that when one thing is not working well, another thing can pay us. We can get paid 3 times on one deal, and we can make big boy checks, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 in one deal. So if you guys want to be a part of that and learn how you can do that for yourselves, go ahead and drop a like. Go ahead and subscribe so that way this stuff can pop up in your feed more. See, I've been doing the real estate investing business full time for 7 years, and it wasn't until, I want to say it was my 3rd deal, that I learned that I didn't have to bring my own money, I didn't have to use credit, and I didn't have to provide any taxes in order for me to acquire a house. See, my first house, I went and got an FHA loan for. I ended up renting that one out, and that allowed me the extra income, so that way I can go out and get another loan, another like conventional loan, so I could buy my, primary house, which we end up living in. So that next deal I got was even shorter amount of time, and I couldn't get a loan for it because I got the second loan because the income from that rental property rolled over and it was like more income for me. But the second one, since I didn't get any additional income from, the bank stopped me on my 3rd one because of debt to income, the DTI people will call it. Okay. And so I had this property under contract and I didn't know how I was going to close it. Turns out that I wasn't going to be able to get a bank loan because of that debt to income and because I had just got that loan 3 months ago. And so I went searching to figure out how I could close on this property because it was such a great deal. I had bought a property in that neighborhood before for $120,000. And so I got this one under contract for $45,000. So I knew it was a good deal and I hate to let it go. And luckily somebody told me about wholesaling real estate. Now, once again, wholesaling is simply buying a property as is and selling a property as is without even owning it. Okay. Now, the way you're able to do this is because real estate is a paper game. Okay. In order to own real estate, it has to be on paper. So in order to control real estate, that is also on paper. And the way you control real estate is through a purchase agreement. Now, if you guys want to get a purchase agreement and you're not a realtor, you can definitely go to my website, thisismetakinaction.com, and download our free purchase agreement there. So that way you can buy hundreds of houses like your boy. Okay. Now, once you get a seller to sign a purchase agreement, all real estate transactions have to go through a real estate attorney or a real estate title company. And the reason why they do this is for multiple reasons, right? They want to protect the buyer and seller. This is not like a back alley kind of thing. Okay, this is a big deal. This is real estate that we're buying, right? So they want to, number one, make sure that the owner is the person that they say they are. They actually own the property themselves. They have the right to sell it. If they owe debt, they want to make sure that that debt is paid off before they pass it to you. They want to make sure that there's like no encumbrances, or any title issues. There's not taxes owed or anything like that. But also for you, the buyer, that real estate attorney or title company want to make sure that your money is real. You're not giving up fraudulent checks. You're not a drug dealer, tricking off your fake money and trying to make it real. Right. So this purchase has to be put on paper so it can be given to the real estate attorney so they can do this due diligence, so they can do this title work. Okay. And typically attorneys will take 14 days, or so to do this title work. And this gives you, the buyer, the opportunity to spend those 14 days, instead of getting the money or coming up with the money, is to find someone else who has the money that wants that deal more than you. And they will bring their money to the table, give the seller what you promised them, but also pay you a fee to take your place in that contract. Now, typically on average, that fee can be whatever you want it to be. Okay. Now, the people who want to take your place are going to be people who just want good deals. Believe it or not, people have cash and they want to buy properties in cash. Landlords who, want to build up their rental portfolio, or who have Section 8 housing, they need houses. Joanna and Chip Gaines from Fixer Upper, they need houses. How do you think they got those houses that they could just walk through anytime for one of their TV specials? Well, someone provided them an opportunity, a deal, put a lockbox on it and says, hey, go walk through that property and see if that's going to be good for you guys. Get good at finding those people who need houses, landlords, realtors, new construction builders, business people who need, tax advantages. When you get good at finding those people, then you'll be able to do this particular strategy. Now, there's two different kinds of ways you can do it with paper. Like I said, you'll need that purchase agreement, but next you can either assign it to them, which means that you'll need an assignment of contract, which essentially says, hey, I'm the assignee. I agreed to buy this property from the seller for this amount. Let's call it $100,000. And now I'm going to assign it to you, the assignor, for a fee of, let's call it $10,000, and you're going to take my place in this contract, and you have to close on this day. Now, you'll want to make sure that they give you some kind of non-refundable earnest deposit. You might want to see that they have some kind of proof of income, or a bank statement, or a letter from their hard money lender or private money lender, or something like that, just to guarantee that they don't mess up your good deal. Okay. But you want to get a deposit from them and take it over to the closing attorney. That deposit will help cover any initial fees that you might have with that attorney. Okay. But it'll also ensure that they actually close, that they have a little skin in the game. So you can assign it. Now, the downside to assigning it is that if you're going to make $10,000, or let's say you got a real good one, you're going to make $20,000. The seller on the HUD on closing day will see that you assigned it to him and you're making $20,000. Now, sometimes they're okay with that. Sometimes they don't care because they get in that $100,000 that you promised them, and they need $100,000 today. But sometimes they might have a problem with that. So in those cases, if you get any inclination, if the seller says anything on the phone, like, hey, I don't want to work with wholesalers, I just want to get the most money possible. I'm not in any rush. I just want to make sure I maximize the deal. If they say stuff like that, then you might want to do your wholesale transaction a little different. You might want to double close it. So once again, you'll need a purchase agreement, and then you'll just, instead of an assignment agreement, then you'll need another purchase agreement. So the first purchase agreement will be the A and B. The seller is the A, you are the B. The second purchase agreement will be the B to C. You will be the B, and then your buyer will be the C. Now, the only difference in this is there's two transactions instead of one. So you will have closing costs for closing number one, but you'll also have closing costs for number two. So all of your profit won't necessarily be profit, but you'll have a chance to hide your fee from the seller and the buyer. Okay. And you'll be able to continue out and doing your as is transaction. Now, some attorneys or title companies or states might need you to bring the money for that A to B to close on the B to C. But if that's the case, I'm sure this will be the easiest private money that you've ever raised before, because you have two contracts and they're closing on the same day. Now, if you guys need help with this, I would love to show you how I actually did a double closing last week while I was in Texas, here in North Carolina, without even, I did see the property one time. I did walk through the property one time with the tenant, and I took pictures and I sent that to the buyer, but the buyer they never saw the property. They still haven't seen the property because the tenant lives there. If you guys want to learn how to do this, I encourage you to subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Peace.